Thanks for joining me on Life and Surround. It's time for some more multi-channel news. I put this t-shirt on this evening after borrowing it back from somebody to remind myself to shoot this video. I have a lot of irons in the fire in my life right now, but it is important to me to keep engaging with my beloved multi-channel music community and to get you news. In case you hadn't yet heard, Pink Floyd is releasing yet another Blu-ray audio of their classic album, Animals. As many of you will know, a Blu-ray audio was released in 2022, I think around September, probably, in time for Christmas type of thing. Now, that was a 5.1 Blu-ray, had stereo, but the capstone for us surround music lovers was a James Guthrie 5.1 mix. Now, that was done in 2018, so the labeling on that release was, the 2018 remix, but it was delayed coming to us until 2022, so, right around 4 years. There was a lot of infighting in the band, and, at the time, Pink Floyd fans and particularly, surround music lovers were just overjoyed that a Blu-ray audio was being released, especially in this day and age where Blu-ray audio can either be locked in a super expensive box set. It was nice that there was a standalone Blu-ray option. And in this day and age where sometimes there's no physical release at all. If you want to enjoy multi-channel for some albums, streaming is your only option. Either Apple's spatial audio, which seems to be some sort of minimally processed, quad 5.1 or Atmos. And I'm glad that Apple Music spatial audio exists, but it just doesn't compare in sonic quality to Blu-ray. It's just not possible right now. The bandwidth that Blu-ray offers is just massive compared to any streaming service at this time. So streaming Atmos, streaming spatial audio, in my mind, is similar to like an MP3 for stereo. You can enjoy it, particularly on certain kinds of systems, but you can also hear the difference if you really do an A/B comparison between streaming and Blu-ray. Okay, so now fast forward to the present day. We're in March 2024, almost April, and on 17 May 2024, just several weeks from now, there is going to be another Blu-ray audio release of Animals, this time containing a James Guthrie Atmos mix alongside the 2018 5.1 mix and alongside the lossless high-res, stereo that was also previously available. So bad news, if you bought the 2022 release, this new Blu-ray is going to make that Blu-ray totally redundant. There is nothing that was featured on the 2022 Blu-ray that isn't going to be present now. And reading some preliminary comments about this release, some fans are disappointed yet again to not have the extended version of Pigs on the Wing that features the snowy white guitar solo. Now, I'm sure I've heard that at least once, but apparently it didn't make such a huge impact on me that I've heard it, multiple times. I know I went and checked it out and listened to it, but that isn't just a huge deal for me. The original LP album, that music, those 5 tracks are what is essential for me. Okay. So there has been a lot of, weeping and gnashing of teeth over these 2 very similar Blu-ray releases being released within 2 years of each other, right around a year and a half, if my math is correct. And please don't, I don't know. I'm not that great at math. Okay. So If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think that's, pretty close. These are about 18 months apart. And I think there's understandable skepticism and chagrin over, is Pink Floyd Records performing a cash grab? Now, I've read a variety of opinions, and I'm going to present to you the opinion offered, or at least one of his opinions offered by Paul at Super Deluxe Edition, SDE, just because I think his perspective makes sense and he actually is involved in producing Blu-ray audio, like with his SDE surround series. So I believe his opinion is an informed one. So I'm going to read it for you now. Since the Animals remixes were done in 2018, that would have been far too early to do an Atmos mix, even though there were a few knocking about like REM and NXS. Then what happened was the project ended up getting delayed due to infighting, etc. So by the time it got to 2022 and they'd finally agreed to release it, no one would have been in the mood for a why don't we change it type of suggestion. I also have a suspicion that the physical products were made well before 2022, so they couldn't do anything anyway. I'm not saying I welcome two almost identical releases less than 2 years apart, but as someone said, I'd much rather they give us the option of buying it physically than not. I do agree that they could have made an effort to make it cheaper. Ditch the postcard and sticker, why don't you? So there is much in Paul's opinion that I sympathize with and that resonates for me. I do wish that, all Blu-ray audio releases would have like a super duper crazy affordable option. And I really don't love, bells and whistles and scarves and marbles, as a lot of people in the surround loving community are fond of saying, since, the original immersive box set for Dark Side of the Moon was rather pricey and featured items such as that. Okay, so that being said, SDE.com, the article about this release, gives lots of different buying options, at least like the different Amazons around the world. You can choose from multiple currencies, so it defaults to Great Britain pound, but you can also choose US dollar and other currencies as well. So that's a very cool resource. I also did some poking around. I just did a browser search and I went and checked out shop.pinkfloyd.com and store.pinkfloyd.com. There are a variety of prices. Shipping is going to be a very high cost for many on those official sites. You can enter your email as a first-time customer and get a 15% off coupon, but that still leaves this release rather pricey trying to get it from the official source, especially choosing 2-day shipping, which will it seems like it will guarantee that you'll get this thing on the release date, 17 May. But there are discounters, like deep discount import CDs. Sometimes you wait a bit to get your products from them. There's Bull Moose, there are lots of options around. You just have to look. I may go with Amazon since I am a Prime member by way of, a kind family member. So then, shipping is free and you get their price guarantee. So if the price tanks in between now and then, like you could end up getting this at a crazy good deal. Though my recollection of, crazy price drops on Amazon, it doesn't happen all that often, but they have this thing priced pretty low in the market already, around $27. And then, like if you're a Prime member or can just jump on like a family or friends Prime membership, then you can get the shipping fast and free. So I don't love throwing money Amazon's way, but I do need to really, really, really watch my budget right now. Man, that's an understatement. Okay, so I am dedicated this year. I am only going in for purchases of stuff that I truly, truly want. Okay, so that leads me to, I think, probably like my final points of this video. I don't know if I'm going in for this Atmos release. I already have the 5.1 Blu-ray, and I am very happy with that mix. I have reviewed it, I believe. I would have been crazy not to, so I'm pretty sure I did. But I didn't bother to go look. So, but I remember being like super happy with it. It starts out in like total stereo, for Pigs on the Wing, and then it just bursts into life for those, middle extended proggy suites. And then, if I recall, it returns to stereo for Pigs on the Wing Part 2. And just the 5.1 mixing is super effective for me. And I don't know, like, will the Atmos mix really be like so much better than the 5.1 to really justify the hassle of reselling the 2022 Blu-ray audio? Because I'm not going to own them both. I'm not a completist like that. Or, will the Atmos be more effective than the 5.1 in terms of just, helping the most people possible enjoy the album the most that they possibly can? Or will it possibly be less effective? Like what's going to be put up in those height channels? You know, um, is James Guthrie good at mixing in Atmos? Like it seems like it took him a while to get good at mixing in 5.1. There certainly are some 5.1 mixes of his that I really don't adore. And somehow he nailed Animals. So I don't know. I just don't know. Like, what's your opinion? Should I go in for this so that I can review it for you? That could be valuable to me. Like if you really want, a Life in Surround review to determine like, whether you want this or not, I suppose I could make that sacrifice to just go ahead and get it despite, my misgivings. So, leave your comments. Are you in for this no matter what? This new 2024 Blu-ray audio with redesigned artwork and nothing new except for an Atmos mix from an engineer, that we really don't know, his Atmos style, his methods, his methodology. Or are you happy with the 5.1 from mixed in 2018 but released in 2022? If you're watching this channel, do you just not care about multi-channel at all and you're happy with just the original stereo mixes? So, you know, are you going to be waiting for reviews to see whether you really want to go in for this? Do you have Atmos set up at home or access to a system such as at, family member's house or friend's house? So, does this release appeal to you whatsoever? So those are my questions. And, so I just encourage everyone to look around, find the price point that you might be happy with, given like the speed of shipping or the relative lack thereof. Do you want this on release day or can you wait? Are you going to be looking for reviews? Are you going to be a pioneer and just go for it? Do you have Atmos set up or not? Are you content maybe with this will probably get put up on streaming services? I don't know exactly Pink Floyd's track record with getting multi-channel content up on services like Apple Music, Amazon Music, or Tidal. But I don't know. I assume that they release multi-channel that way. So Blu-ray audio 2024, are you in? Are you out? Are you thinking about it? Do you want reviews? Are you going to be happy with streaming? Do you just not care about Atmos whatsoever? Do you call it Atmos like some people do? All these questions. So yeah, I'm just here to poke the bear, I guess, in case you didn't know that there is a new Blu-ray audio out this year. Maybe you saw, like, an advertisement or something, and you just assumed it was, just a repressing of the 2022 disc. That is not the case. This is new, and the only like newness of this release, other than the reimagined artwork, is the James Guthrie Atmos mix. So there it is. Please leave your comments below. I really will do my best to try to engage with them, especially since I want to know your opinion. Like, should I review this, like, as close to release day as possible? Or, do you just not care? And if you like what I do, don't forget to like this video and others. circle back and watch other videos. Subscribe if you haven't, ring the notification bell if you haven't, leave comments, share these videos. It all helps get this channel out into the awareness of more music lovers. And the purpose of this channel is just to enjoy music together, to spread some joy. And music brings me joy. It's one of the things in my life that I find just to be like the most meaning inducing into my soul. You know, it can be hard to be a human. And enjoyable music just, really in some ways makes it all seem worth it. Okay, so that's kind of the purpose of that's why I do this. I don't envision being able to quit my day jobs. Okay, so maybe someday, if we hit, I don't know, if we hit 50,000 subscribers, maybe I could do that. So we'll see. And on that point, thank you everyone who has subscribed ever and recently. I never thought that Life in Surround would have over 5,000 subscribers. I was wondering if there would be 10 or 50. Okay, so I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for your support. It just recently came to my attention that my print store is back up, by the way. So if you want a hat or a t-shirt or stuff like that, my print store right now, my storefront is on eBay. So if you search for Lee Baggins, you should be able to find me, or just like Life in Surround t-shirt, but beware of Chinese knockoffs, okay? Um, make sure that the seller is Lee Baggins, Leigh Baggins, like Bilbo and Frodo, okay? All right, and with that, thank you much, and I hope that everyone is managing somehow to live life in surround.